Let's switch to the Western Conference Final. Game 1 happened on Wednesday evening. Game 2 is going tonight in Dallas again. Dallas currently has a 1-0 series lead thanks to the heroics in the third period. Once again, another third period comeback. 5 goals in the third period is what they racked up against the Edmonton Oilers, and it all started on the power play, okay? The Edmonton Oilers looked terrific through 40 minutes. They looked like they were dominating the game. They looked like Dallas wasn't going to generate anything off of them. And even their first their first penalty kill in the first period, I believe, it looked sound. It did not look like they were giving up anything to Dallas. It looked like, and they also got a couple shorthanded chances off of it. And then the third period happens, and it's the start of the third period that just ruined it for the Edmonton Oilers. They let in the first power play goal. The momentum gets behind the crowd for Dallas. It kind of carries along the whole game, or for the rest of the third period, and they just keep on gaining momentum, and they score 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the third period, and just in the blink of an eye, you're trailing the game. So for you, is it just a matter of Edmonton has to stay out of the box if they're going to win this series? Because their penalty kill's operating at 62% right now. It's literally operating. Teams are scoring at them at 38% right now. That is ridiculous to think that they're even here in this situation, considering what the penalty kill is giving up right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's certainly one of the biggest ingredients for them to potentially win this series is, because it seems like 5-on-5, at least they may have an edge over the Stars. It seems like at least in game 1, they looked phenomenal. I thought Leon Draisaitl was having a fantastic game. McDavid looked like he had a lot of buzz. Obviously, they were part of that first goal that I thought really kind of kickstarted the Oilers again and just kind of gave them more confidence that they believed that they could win yet another series, especially, against the Stars 2 years in a row. So, I was surprised. I was shocked that I guess more so that Dallas was able to score that frequently. I guess even on you expect the Oilers at least to get one of those kills or to be able to have a bit of time where they can gain some momentum and maybe pick one up and keep a 1 or 2 goal lead at some point. But it felt like once that Heiskanen goal goes in, and that seeing eye puck from the point, then I was like, okay, this game, obviously it wasn't ever over from even 3-1, but it was like, okay, now this game's right back on, and you had that feeling that Dallas had gained some momentum, whether or not they picked up another power play or it just felt like they were going to come back and we might see overtime or something. That was what I was thinking kind of at the start of the third period. I was like, okay, we might still see overtime here, but I couldn't imagine that the Oilers were going to give up, as many chances as they can, even with the amount of power plays that they gave up.
So going into game 2, obviously, I don't think either of us think this is going to be a sweep or a 5-game series. This is going to be a long one. What is the key for the Edmonton Oilers in game 2 to even this thing up and take home ice advantage away from the Dallas Stars heading back to Edmonton for game 3?
Well, I think the key for them is going to be to try to keep as much offensive possession as they can. I thought they did a really good job of taking advantage of some of the rush chances that they have. And of course, the Oilers, with the top end talent they have, they're always going to have those chances. But I thought that there were periods of the game where Dallas was able to take possession and kind of cycle and work the edges of the offensive zone the way that they really like to do. So I think Edmonton's best chance is to try to match that and keep possession in Dallas's end, keep them away from the other side. Give Stuart Skinner the best chance he can to have better than an 840 save percentage or whatever the stat is floating around here. So I think that's what they're going to have to do. Try to keep shots low. Defense is going to have to really work hard to block as many shots as possible and keep Dallas to the outside when they're able to do so, because Dallas has as much talent as anybody else. And if you allow them to get into some of the sweet spots, in the slot there, we saw at least one of those goals get by Skinner in that fashion. So I think that's going to be the key for Edmonton.
Yeah, I think we sooner are going to have to have the conversation about LTIR being a cheat code, really a cheat code, because the Dallas Stars, their fourth line, it literally has Jamie Benn on it. It's ridiculous. It's how you defend that many lines of that much coming at you. I don't know how you do it. They can roll all 4 lines. They can mix match with anyone because They have elite talent all over the ice, it feels like. And yeah, so it's going to take, like, I'll put this way. McDavid and Draisaitl haven't had to score or put the team on their back to really win a series yet. And it's been terrific. Like, you're getting secondary scoring. But we're going to need a McDavid-esque performance or McDavid-esque series where he just takes over the whole time and really dominates the game in order for Edmonton to win. Because if not, do you feel like it's just going to become too much by the Dallas Stars and they're just going to roll over in a way? Like, do you feel like that's kind of what's going to happen to Edmonton if the big guys, Edmonton, or 29 and 97, don't have their most dominant series of the 2025 playoffs?
Well, I certainly don't think that even as a group that they're going to, not to say that you're saying they're going to roll over, but I think that we've seen obviously in the past that these guys, even when they get down, they're never out and they don't accept that. So I think they're certainly not, even if they were to lose the next game in Dallas or God forbid they were down 3-0, I think these guys are going to try their best and they're going to try to push through as much as possible. But I am worried about, like you said, I don't think McDavid and Draisaitl combined can score 5 or 6 goals a game even themselves. So, and I think Dallas is a team, the way things are looking, they might be able to do that as a group. And if they can score, even if they can get an average of 4 goals a game over a series, which it looks like that might be possible, it's going to be really hard for McDavid and Draisaitl alone to try to be able to keep up. So I think that's the one thing that could be worrisome for the Oilers if they can't get some more of that secondary scoring, but also if they can't find a way to stop the Stars from, just being so efficient.
Yeah, I would agree. I think when I meant by rollover, I kind of meant like the team is gonna. It's not gonna be a complete fight if you don't have 97 and 29 producing. Like,
For sure.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what I meant by rollover. Like, they'll win a couple games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it's not going to be a rollover in terms of the series, but they're just not going to be the same team if 97 and 29 don't show up on a nightly basis in this series and produce at the level that we know that they can as one of probably the two of the top 5 players, top 3 players in the world. So it's going to be very interesting